It's really kind of a jewel. One of my earliest memories of the Grand was standing in line for 4 hours to go to see Star Wars the first time when it first came out. And so that's when, it was still a movie theater at that point. So really enjoyed seeing, even at that time, a lot of the sculptures and stuff were still in the theater at that point. I just remember as a kid just thinking, this place is so cool.
I think the nice thing is not only is it a beautiful place physically, to see, but it's a fun place for kids to visit. Our kids, when our girls were really young, they were in the Nutcracker and they were little angels across the stage. And, then going all the way to all the events that we've gone to, the formal events there, weddings there, the high school event that's there. Just there's so many events. And then our event that we do, one of our big events for the company I work for, Junior Achievement, is we have our Executive Business Challenge there every year. It's one of our bigger fundraisers. And we used to have it at a small, kind of sad little place. And now we have it at the Great Hall. And the Great Hall is just magnificent. Even at night, the light, the sparkly ceiling, but it's just such a beautiful space to have an event. And so, for personal reasons, we love it, but also for professional reasons, there's a lot of opportunity for businesses to get into and support the Grand. One of my favorite things to do at that event is to go out when the sun is kind of setting and to take a picture of the marquee, to have the sun setting on the Grand Theater and the marquee lit up with our event and the sponsors it's my favorite picture, and I always send it when I send the thank yous. And so it's just such a beautiful, beautiful building.
I was part of the original campaign to create the arts block back in 2000 or 1999, somewhere in there. The Grand was in terrible shape at that point prior to that. So the initial restoration and then the expansion to include the performing arts and visual arts next to it and build that entire area out just took us to a whole new level as a community. And started really becoming a corner point of our downtown, and a destination for all the shows that come in there. It's really fantastic.
I remember when we moved here, the downtown area was not so beautiful, and you couldn't really even see the Grand. And then when they opened up the 400 block, then all of a sudden there's this magnificent building there, and everybody gets to see it every day, whether you're on the skating rink or you're at Townies or you're shopping at Shepherd and Shaler. It's just right there.
It's tremendous, the number of people that come in from out of town for these, for the concerts and shows and things at the Grand. That all is great for the community, whether they're staying at a local hotel for the evening and making an outing of it, going to local restaurants nearby prior to their events that they go to. It's fantastic. I think it's a huge asset for our city. I think it's great also from a recruiting standpoint of trying to get young people to come into the community. And just as our downtown is continuing to evolve, it will just always be a great staple for our community for sure.
There's really no place like the Grand anywhere around here. I grew up in the Chicago area. We lived in Chicago for a number of years, and there's beautiful theaters all over Chicago. And it was an adjustment when we moved here. It was very much an adjustment moving from downtown Chicago to central Wisconsin. But I just, the Grand is a magnificent, absolutely stunning, facility for us to have, and the fact that we've nurtured that for 100 years or going on 100 years, and that people understand how important it is to have that kind of facility in our area. Not only does it bring, like Chris said, it brings in theater, but it brings in so much more than that, and the economic impact when you've got a show, I don't think people think about when there's a show there, all the people that are in the show have to stay somewhere and eat somewhere. And so not only are you bringing people from maybe Rhinelander or Anago or other places in town, but you're also impacting the economy in other ways as well. As lovely as the Grand is, we that know the Grand a little bit understand that the seats have been there for a long time, and the green room's maybe not the way that it should be, and it's important to get the shows that we want and the people that we want performing there to want to come, and for them to be able to put their shows on there. So having and making the choice to make this a priority in our community to continue to support this project, I think is very important. There's a lot of work to be done that's kind of behind the scenes that not everybody sees when the lights are low at the Grand Theater.
It's been 25 years basically at this point since the original refresh. So things changed. Refreshing the theater itself, refreshing the Great Hall, I think are all, great efforts or things that are needed to continue into the next century for our theater.